Well, this sucks. And speaking of sucking, today we're going to be talking about exhaust fans. This is Rick the Huge. I hope you all are having a great day. And today we're going to dive right into the importance of exhaust fans. Now, exhaust fans have been around for a while for us laser engravers. It's predicated by the fact that you are in an enclosed space. That being said, if you are in an engraved space, you should have an exhaust fan. I don't care if you're doing wood, you're doing acrylics, you're doing whatever. You need an exhaust fan. You're doing glass, you need an exhaust fan. But let's dive right in. Now, I pulled this off via my Google Foo. An inline fan is an important, effective way to improve exhaust for your laser cutter, especially when engraving materials that produce a lot of smoke and strong odors. You can add on inline with your existing ductwork to supplement the laser's built-in fan, or use a more powerful one as your primary exhaust. Now, that's a lot of information right there, and we're going to break it down right after this. Today's video is sponsored by me. I figure, what the heck? I pay for everything here. I have no sponsors, official sponsors yet. Got to pay the bills somehow or another and get this video out to y'all. But stick around, we're about to dive right into inline fans. Now, when I bought my AP laser, I got this square box. I kid you not. It had two things unlabeled sticking out that looked like exhaust ports. And I didn't know which one was which. I had to plug it in separately and plug it in and try to figure it out so I can attach my hoses properly. Nowadays, I think they're shipping them with inline fans. Now, the simplicity of an inline fan, and it is very simplistic. You got a fan inside, and it's in line with whatever you're doing. Now, I use AC Infinity inline fans. I think I got an S6 or a T6, one of the three. And it's one of those things of, I needed it. Now, with that original box type of, they called it a squirrel box from some of the guys that I talked to whenever I first got into laser engraving. Had a circle, had some blades cut out, and it just went around and around and around, and, you know, kind of like a cat in a treadmill. And it's one of those things of, it was louder than it needed to be. And like right now, whoa. Yeah, I'll leave it that way. Now I just turned on my fan. And I do have a fan that is blowing. And now, one of the things that I like about this, I've got it like, right now I've got it up at full blast. And it is a little bit noisy, but it's not overbearing. It's not as, if I put, you know, the other fan on, it either was on or it was off. There was no in-betweens. And arguably, this is very comfortable. I can hear if somebody knocked on my door or wanted to talk to me, I can still hear them. Now, the other fan, not so much. I would have to yell, they would have to yell, people would think we're mad or fighting. It was not a beautiful thing. But you'll notice I didn't go too far. I have my laser right there. It has a remote. I just turned it off. And if you watch my last video using, my, or one of my other videos, I was talking and it was real loud and everything because it was coming off the microphone off of my iPhone. And yeah, it was very loud. And it wasn't that loud in here. But that's how sensitive that mic was. Now that I have this little thing right here and it's working, hopefully you'll be able to hear me only. But going into this stuff, the fans are not that hard. They got remotes. Some of, depending on which value you get, even, it doesn't matter. They'll have a remote, have it close by to your laser. The one I'm using right now has a magnet. The laser is, the body of the laser is metal. Everything's happy. But it works perfectly for me. That's not to say that some of the other ones are bad. They're not. It's just that that was the one that I knew of. That's the one that was highly recommended. That's the one I got. Now, you can get those off of Amazon, and I highly encourage you to go to Amazon and look at these fans. Find out what you're willing to do and what have you. Now, let's talk about balance. Balance is important. The one thing about any fan, I don't care if it's a squirrel box that's noisier than a beat up old car that needs a muffler job, or if it's sleek and quiet as an electric car. Its primary design is to suck bad air and move it out of that space that you're working. Now, that means that if you were in a climate controlled area, are losing that climate. So now you have to figure out, do I leave it on constantly or do you turn it off? While you're engraving, leave it on. You can deal with that discomfort, whether you're in a fully AC'd building or if you are in a garage like me. Now, I sometimes use that to pull hot air out. I'm hoping my editor doesn't say anything. Or pulling the cold air out, depending on what environment that you're in. I would highly recommend that while you are engraving, you do, leave it on about 3 to 5 minutes afterwards, then turn it off. Now, like with my CO2 gantry right over here, it needs to maintain a certain temperature. It can't get over 120, 125 degrees Fahrenheit. I try not to do that. Even in the summer months, whenever I was engraving and I've got to replace thermostat on that thing, it was not getting over that threshold and it was still producing. Of course, after I replaced the laser tube. If you have now certain vendors like AP Laser, they have a special coolant, antifreeze or whatever. They have a special liquid that you could pour in. Takes care of everything. Keeps it cool. Matter of fact, I'm probably about due to pump my laser and replace the distilled water I have in there. But it's one of those things that you, as a laser engraver, need to know. Now, keeping everything you know, like you would take care of your laser, all the fluids and what have you, you do have to take care of the air that's around you. Now, there are other devices out there, but they're much more expensive, but they're worth it. Um, I can run this, cut wood, engrave wood, and wood is actually the biggest enemy on, like, say, your BAFA type of filtration systems. These are your HEPA filters. All the oils that come up from the woods, they get sucked in, they attach to the media. It's expensive. But inline fans, it's the same thing. It will build up on your laser or on your fan blades. You just got to clean them out every now and again. But that's pretty much all the maintenance that I've seen on them. But I do appreciate y'all joining me on this. I wanted to do a short video on it. I know I've been promising it for a while. If you have any questions, put them down, post them down below. I have no heartburn in answering them, and I will try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Again, I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all on the next one, which should be coming up here real soon. And have a great one.